Hello guys, welcome to another video of mine. And if this is your first time coming across any of my videos, please do me a favor and drop me some likes. Listen, I've been wanting to have this discussion because I faced this issue when I was in Ghana somewhere last year. I was in Ghana last year, yeah, and um I was supposed to go to Pokwase. So I went to the roadside to get a taxi. And if you know anything about the Pokwase road, because of the construction, so it's really hard to get a taxi to go on that route. So you really have to you have to fight your way in to get a trotro. And trotro was like a hot cake on that day. And um I really have to fight my way in, I and my brother. So on our way to Pokwase, listen, I saw old people, students on the roadside trying to find their way to their destination. And it got me thinking. I came home and I had this conversation with my friend, and I was telling my friend that, listen, I've seen what is unfolding. If the government doesn't put measures in place to ease out transportation in Ghana, things are going to get out of hand. And listen, it's really everything, like everything uh, is going on as I predicted. And I see the videos, I see the struggle, I see what people are going through. And the government think, or you might think the only issue um is the fuel prices. Listen, the fuel prices. I mean, the fuel price is the less issue when it comes to transportational issue in Ghana. So I'm going to outline all the problem that I think is affecting Ghana when it comes to transportation. The government have to understand one thing. When it comes to transportation, the government have tried to provide transportation to Ghanaians and they failed. Even when it comes to um flights, Ghana Airways is a failure. STC at some point is a failure. And still STC is not even the majority player when it comes to long distance transportation in Ghana. And the private sectors are the ones who are making sure that, or who are making this sector run, who are making sure that Ghanaians have transportation to go to their destination. Instead of the government to make things easier for Ghanaians, the government is rather make things harder. You know, sometimes I don't understand how this government think. Like, you are the ones that we decided to choose to go and represent us because we think you are the most intelligent among us. So we chose you guys because you promised us that you're going to figure out our problems and then solve the problem. But it's so funny that someone like me, which my educational level is not even up there, I was able to sit down to figure out the issue that is worrying, like the main cause of this issue. And we have people like you in offices with your big tummy. You go there, you drink like a Milo and milk, eat bread and eggs, and then go back home. Discuss about issues that doesn't make sense. Discuss about LGBTQ. Discuss about some things that doesn't make sense. But the essential things that Ghanaians needed, you guys are not having no discussion about it. And I don't know why anyone have raised awareness on this issue, and it's only going to get worse. And after this video, you guys are going to see why I'm saying it's going to get worse if the government don't put their foot in it and make this as an emergency crisis. Ghana government have to understand that, oh, Ghana, we don't produce cars. And even here in Germany that we produce cars, people still use cars that are 20 years, even 50 years. The only thing that you have to do is that as long as you can pay your taxes, the only thing that you have to do is that you have to you have to take your car to a place called TÜV, where they check the roadworthy of the car. And if the car passes all the examination, they give you a certificate that shows that your car have passed. You can use your car for 2 years. And then you take your car and then you start using your car regardless of the age of the car. In Ghana, we don't produce cars, but then you put like an age limit on cars. How does that make sense? And you might think, oh, it's because of the emissions, it's because of this. Listen, before you put some laws in place, you have to make sure that you have the best road in Ghana. You have the best technology. You have mechanics that can service these modern cars that you want Ghanaians to bring in your country. Because if you don't want to bring old cars, of course you want to bring modern cars. And I want to ask, to the people that work in the I don't know what you call them, check like vehicles, do they even have any, do they have like a any idea of how lithium battery works? Like, let's say when someone bring an electric car to Ghana, do you know electric cars? When an electric cars have an accident, you cannot just come and tow an electric car. You have to even bring fire service there because it can blow up. So these are all the things that government have to put in place when they are talking about bringing, not bringing like over age cars. And another thing that we also have to consider when you talk about bringing over age cars, you have to understand that Europeans are so advanced that they don't even focus when it comes to the durability of a car, like the car component. They focus on the luxurious part of the cars because they've got to notice that this is what their customers want. What African customers want and what European customers want are different. And in Ghana, we don't have even like a major automotive market. So they don't even concentrate on the African market. Before, when you go to Ghana on Ring Road around Audome, you used to have these car companies where they exhibit their cars. Like they have like a dealership and all of those things there. Now they've closed all the companies. They've closed, like it has all shut down. How many Ghanaians are worthy enough to buy a brand new cars? And when you buy a brand new car, it always comes with warranty. And you have to also know when you buy cars like Tesla, the new cars, the services, when you have issues, you have to take the car to the car company, the makers, for them to service your car because they have the tools to diagnose the car to know what is. Most of the cars these days are electric and AI. So they have the tools to diagnose the car to know what is wrong with your car. So, how the hell are you telling Ghanaians to bring these cars to Ghana and then you don't have all of these things put in place? Now we have automotive cars, cars that can drive by themselves on autopilot. Ask yourself, how do these cars manage to drive on themselves? We have something we call 5G. Do we have 5G? How many 5G's antennas do we have in Ghana? And also, even the road marking in Ghana has all faded away. They use like these cars, they use all of these things to be able to, like, to have like a smooth driving experience. You're talking to Ghanaians, telling Ghanaians that they shouldn't bring like old cars. Ghana government, these people that we chose to represent us, why not you use your mind? Like, it's not even a rocket science. It doesn't even need like a deep thinking. You have to understand that. Now, when you tell Ghanaians to bring these new cars, it's going to be like a graveyard of cars. Because all that I can tell you is that old cars in Germany can handle the road in Ghana far better than the new cars, because the old cars that are made in like the 10 years cars, the 20 years cars, because you have to understand, German road wasn't that good. So they made those cars to be able to be driven on a bad road, same way as Italy. But then as years goes by, they, like, they improve the the quality of their roads. So the cars that are being made to be able to be like to be compatible with the quality of the roads in Europe. But when you go to Ghana, our roads are so bad. And even in Ghana, you have speed ramp like a mountain, like a hill. And you have to also understand that most of these cars here, they use air suspension, and air suspension is something that you can't even overuse. I swear to God, if you are using these down cars in Ghana, especially these SUVs in Ghana, most of them, they are really down. They have like a air suspensions. So when you are using them on this speed ramp, they are going to be damaged. It's one of the easiest thing to be damaged in a car. So how are you telling Ghanaians to bring all of these new cars when you don't even have the safe measures and the things in place for people to be able to use these cars? You live in a country where the government, like the president private jet is about 40 years or 20 years. I've never seen anyone saying that, okay, if you want to start a flight business in Ghana, you shouldn't be over age flights, which is more dangerous than a car. And you are telling us that to bring these new cars, and then you've also put in hell of a import duty on cars. I don't know what is wrong with Ghana government with cars. Ghana government, I don't know if they see car to be something like an alien warship, or they are, I don't know if they are afraid for their people, for the citizens of Ghana to use cars or to be able to afford cars, or I don't know. I don't know what is wrong with Ghana government with cars. It's like Ghana government, like they are like villagers, they are like barbarians when it comes to cars. You have people in Togo, young boys in Togo who are using cars. Are they better than Ghanaians? Even Burkinabe, I have a cousin who is a DJ, but is able to afford to buy a car. Cars are nothing in these places, but Ghana, like we are one of the most developed country in West Africa. We are one of the most developed country in West Africa. But when it comes to transportation, it's so like our transportation system is so bad. It's so bad. Listen, we live in a country where teachers are running late. And the only people that can help these teachers, the only people that can help your students, the only people that can help your workers are the private transportational sectors. You are making their life harder. By making their life harder, you're also making the country to regress. Goods and services. We don't have a lot of trucks to transport goods and services anymore. You watch videos on the internet, and then you see people who are telling you, listen, we have these tomatoes, they are rotting. We don't have cars to take it to a destination where we can sell them, and the government is not doing anything. Sometimes the government don't even understand how people are able to transport some goods to other places, like from places to places. They don't even understand all of those things. They haven't put in anything in place to do all of this research. And me, I have done the research. I have done the research. That is why I'm giving you all of this point, and I challenge any government personnel to come and challenge me on this topic. No, like if we are talking, you have to listen to us. You really have to listen to us, because the people who have their own tomatoes is getting rotten. They cannot transport like their tomatoes to like their goods and services to places because there isn't enough vehicles in the country. Imagine a country like Ghana, there isn't enough vehicles. We live in a country where like a policeman cannot buy a car, cannot afford a car. A nurse cannot afford a car. A lecturer cannot afford a car. The most important people who's supposed to be at work on time cannot afford a car. How do you think the country is going to move? How do you think the country is going to function? Of course, we are going to regress. Listen, in Ghana, to buy the bare minimum that you can get, like an affordable working car, yeah, is about 50,000 Ghana cedis. I mean, 50,000 Ghana cedis to buy a car. I don't even mean like good car, like just some car to be able to manage 50,000 Ghana cedis. How many nurses have 50,000 Ghana cedis? How many teachers have 50,000 Ghana cedis? How many doctors or bankers have 50,000 Ghana cedis? How many? Ask yourself. Charlie, we should be in a position where teachers have their own cars, where students can get to school on time, where teachers can get to school on time, where your government workers, the people that your employees can get to school on time. When you see a banker using a car, it's not his car. It's the bank, it's the bank car, it's the company car. Why should Ghana, how, like, can't these people understand that cars are like, transportation is one of the most important things? As you guys have tried, as you the government have tried and failed, why don't you make it easier for the people who are helping you? You think the only issue is the fuel prices? Never. Do you think I'll pay, like if I want to start a transportational business, I'll go and buy a car and then spend about 30,000 euros or $30,000 on a car, bring it to Ghana, with all the import duties, and then you want me to use this car as a trotro. Like, am I sick? Am I insane? How much will I make? How many years should I use the should this car work before I can recuperate my money? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Listen, all this structure that you are saying here, I swear to God, if the Ghana government should put things really in place, like a trotro driver should work as a trotro driver for 3 years to be able to afford a new car. That is how it's supposed to be. When you come to Europe, all the taxis that you see, they don't use them forever. They use them, I think, for 4 years or 5 years, and then get a new taxi because they've already made their money. And they always check on the mileage. In Ghana, we don't even check on mileage. And then you talk about, oh, this car is old. Like, look at the arrogancy. You know, the issue is that we don't have. We are the most tuno person. Since when Ghanaians have we even reached a point where we should even talk about emotions? We should talk about this. Boga, we've not reached there yet. Pipe down. Like, how the hell do you want to implement a Western ideology, or even the Western ideology that you want to implement in Ghana? They haven't even implemented that yet. Now they've reached a point where they are moving towards using like a renewable energies, like where they want to start using electric cars. And even that, they've got to notice that, listen, before, if an electric car got an accident, like, there are so many things that they have to put in place to make sure that they evacuate the car from the road. You understand? So they've put in all of that in consideration, and are still doing research, and they've put it on hold, and they were like, okay, we know the target was 2030, but now we want to put it on hold to make sure that we are sure 100% that, okay, we are really ready to go this route. It's more like we let the worst ones to go and represent us in parliament, because this shouldn't be a law. This shouldn't be a law. Overage car shouldn't be a law, because if I want to start a trotro business, I'm not going to bring like a brand new car to start a trotro business on Ghana Road. If I want to start a truck business to transport goods and services, I'm not going to bring a brand new car to go on this road like JJT, to go on a trip like a Mount Guase, all of this road. Like, do you know a place called Sansan? It's on the mountains around um around 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 Pokwase, or around Amasama, around Amasama, at the back of Amasama. Do you think I'm going to, Boga? If you have your car here and you decide to go on that road, and let's say your car is a modern car and you're using air suspension on that road, I swear to God, when you climb the mountain 2 times, your air suspension will be done and your car will be useless. Air suspension is one of the most difficult things to fix, and is one of the most is the one of the easiest part. Is one of the easiest components in car to be to get damaged. All of these things, you guys haven't put this in consideration. Listen, I can tell you something. Some of us who are really car enthusiasts and we know a lot of things about car, we are not a mechanic. When you're taking a decision, when you're taking decisions like this, you have to invite some people, do your research, invite mechanic, come together, talk about this, and then you talk about, like, before you make some things a law, especially when it comes to vehicles, because vehicles is one of the most dangerous things that, if you don't regulate it really well, you're going to end up killing people. That is why just recently, um the survey was out that last year was one of the deadliest year when it comes to road accidents in Ghana. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. And this is not just a theory. This is not just a theory. I've made my own investigation, I've made my own research, and I'm telling you that, listen, one of the main issue is the import duty that you've put in on spare parts. Because if you put import duty on spare parts and you made spare parts expensive, what the hell do you think? Most of our trotro, um, most of our trotro, like, on the first hand, they are not even roadworthy. And then you are making it easier for them to service it. Because when someone has an issue with his trotro, instead of him to go to the spare parts to go and pay a high price for a part, they'll try to alterate it. That is why when you sit in church, you see someone using screwdriver as a gear handle. It doesn't make sense. So by them, alterating and managing and try to use the car instead of them to go and get like spare parts, they'll alterate, and guess what is going to happen? People life is on the line. Instead of you guys to know that, okay, let's make this spare parts like, because Charlie, even we have this issue. We've identified the issue. And Ghana is not a place where everyone is rich, where people can buy brand new trotro and start using after making it even difficult for people to import car in Ghana. So you have to at least also make the spare parts like, to even make it like duty free, because these are things that people need to fix their cars, especially the same way you subsidize fuel. You should also do the same thing when it comes to spare parts. You should also do the same thing when it comes to spare parts. Listen, there are some villages where they only have two cars that goes to the village. So when you don't get those cars, you have to sleep at the station, and the next morning you have to find your way and struggle and get to the car and go to the village. And this is Ghana that we are talking about. Ghana. Ghana, oh, Ghana. And you think if we've made it easy for people to be able to bring cars in Ghana, for like the import duty is reasonable. Listen, there's no way you can convince me that even paying $2,000 or $3,000 for import duty makes sense on a regular car. I swear to God, because when you go to places like Gambia, they pay less than €1,000 for an import duty. Burkina Faso, that they don't have a shore, they pay less than €1,000 for import duty. The only thing that they have to do is they ship their car to Burkina but transit in Ghana, and then in Ghana you have to pay some ECOWAS fees. That is all. And then you drive to the car to Bolga. They put a tracker on your car. You take the car. I want to have like education, how I can educate people who have dual citizenship, like who have dual citizenship in Togo and Burkina. And if they want to own a car, I want to make an education how they can own a car, how it like they can make it easier for them to own a car, because it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't understand why the government try to, you know, extort your citizens just because they want to use a car. Extort your citizens just because they want to help your citizens to be able to move around easily. And then now you've set up a committee beating drivers, arresting drivers because they are overcharging people. You only, you know, you can only identify the problem of the driver, but you can't look at yourself in the mirror to identify the things that you are doing wrong. Trust me, when it comes to this issue, I'm really angry. Not only on me. Listen, students are running late. Doctors are running late. People are mad at nurses. Nurses are running late. Nurses are running late. These days, you can't even have an employment. Like, let's say before, you can even work in place like Tema. You live in, let's say, around Medina, and you have a job in Tema. You can't, because, bro, to get a car to this place is so hard. So people are saying there's no job. It's not like there's no job, oh. Bro, we get job. There's jobs in Ghana. There's job, but people cannot move around freely because of how hard it is to get transportation to some places. Ghana, the way we did, Charlie, how Ghana did, cars, like, vehicles shouldn't be a problem. That is why these days you see Pragya, Pragya, Pragya. Do you think if people can afford a car, you're going to see Pragya and Okada on our roads? It's like when you, the government, you come to abroad and then you see all the nice things when you're driving. Just recently, your mama was in Japan and he was riding on a bullet train. All of these things. Can't you make sense out of this and be like, okay, I want to come and then implement this in my country? Implement this in my country. And then the only things that you guys know how to implement is to implement the European rules that the Europeans are even abandoning in your country. Sometimes you have to study the way of life of your people and set the rules based on the way of life of your people. Not like copying other people and think it's going to work for us. It will never work for us. It has never worked. No country like a developing country, like those China, those Singapore, those South Korea, they did things on their own. They've studied their people and they noticed what their people want. And they were like, okay, since you guys want this, and since we know that this, when we implement this, is going to help you guys, so we are going to implement this to help you guys. When you go to China, the China government have noticed that like a shipment is one of the major important thing for the Chinese people. So guess what they did? They've made it easier and cheaper for Chinese people to be able to ship things from China to Europe. And now Chinese people, like, you can go on AliExpress, buy things, and then they'll ship it, and then they are making money out of it. Like this is what we call productive government that think about their people. At this moment, you know that we needed transportation. Transportation is one of the most important things that's going to help a country, for the country to develop. Instead of you to make it easier, you are making it harder. Today, when you ship a car to Ghana, instead of the government to make it cheaper next for you to be able to ship the same car, when you go, the import duty of this year, next year, it has doubled. It's like, Charlie, you guys are not even scared to be charging those import duties. Like, to be charging those import duties. But then a government who is much richer is using free car, free fuel, free fuel. And then they are the same people also that import cars in a country without paying dime for duties, always using connection. But the ordinary Ghanaian, you are making our life harder, and then you want the country to develop. How the hell would the country develop? How the hell would the country develop? A contractor must go and build a house, and he has to build a house on time. If you all of these things is putting in place, no Ghanaian is going to come and say they need free house, they need like affordable housing. We can do all of those things for ourselves. Trying to know what we want, and then put measures in place to make sure that these things is easier for us to achieve. Simple. So I don't want to prolong the video anymore. I would like to, I'm going to, my next video is going to be um a video where I would like to educate you guys how to be able to afford a car if you have like a um dual citizenship. Like, let's say you have citizenship from Mali or like a Ghana, uh Ghanaian and Mali citizenship, or you. So this is where I'm going to end the video. So my next video is going to be so this is where I end the video. In my next episode, I'm going to educate you guys how you can import a car without paying this expensive duty in Ghana. If you have dual citizenship, let's say you live in, like, you have dual citizenship from Togo and Burkina Faso. So this will be my next video, and I'm going to teach you guys how you can get that, and you can use those cars in Ghana, and then find your way out, because we really have to. If the government are not going to make things easier for us, we have to find a way to make things easier for ourselves. So till we meet again, peace.